people who requested for it because they're not available today, but they would still want to know what's happening in our info session. Cool. So just for quick introductions, I guess maybe we have like 10 minutes or 5 to 10 minutes and 30 seconds for each one. Get ready with our introductions. Cool. So just to, like get to know each other a bit, we have some check-in question that people could answer, and also like some sharing on, why are you here? Why are you interested with the mentor-mentee program? So you could start with your name, your career level, your undergrad, grad student, you're a postdoc, or you're someone working in the industry, your affiliation, where you're from, your favorite Filipino dessert, and especially with this heat, right? And why are you interested to join AFSA's Mentor-Mentee Program? Well, I could start. So I'm Carla. I'm a grad student, turning fifth year, in the fall. I study cancer science at Columbia University here in New York. My favorite Filipino dessert is actually halo-halo. Yeah. And I'm just interested to be part of the program because I'm really interested in getting to know people and like connecting to people, especially, like Filipino people in STEM. And I have been in a lot of struggles myself, like going through this career. So I would want to have, and I didn't have this resource when I started, like I didn't have any community of like Filipino scientists. So I struggled on my own, and I would want to, like share insights with my journey and really help someone make their journey easier, I guess, especially in the Filipino community. Cool. So I'm gonna just pass it to people, and then the next one you could just pass it on to anyone too. I'm gonna pass it on to Thea.
I'll hop on camera for a little bit. Hi, I'm Taya. I am currently a post-bac, just a project coordinator at the University of North Carolina. And I'm studying cognitive neuroscience. And my favorite Filipino dessert is probably banana lumpia. That would probably have to be number one.
Do you have jackfruit?
What was that?
Do you put jackfruit in your banana lumpia?
No, I've never had that. I'm also like, I'm very influenced by Hawaii's culture. Like it's a very mishmash of Filipino and Hawaiian. So yeah, I think that answered all the questions. Oh, no, I'm interested in, I'm going to be hopefully applying to grad school in the next couple of years. So I think I would really benefit from this program. I'm also like a first gen college student, so I have no idea how to navigate that whole grad school application process, and like academia in general is so intimidating. So really, really looking forward to this program. Yeah. I will pass it to Grace.
Hi, can everyone hear me?
Yes.
Okay. My name is Grace. I'm a post-bac student. Well, I just finished my post-bac program. My undergrad is in fashion design and merchandising, so I've been doing that for almost a decade now. So I plan on taking the MCAT in March. So it's been a very big career shift, as you can imagine, from fashion design to medicine. So it would just be really nice to meet others, Filipinos in the STEM community, just form some sense of community and see other folks that are Filipino, like doing well in the community and just having some advice and some direction. And my favorite Filipino dessert is leche flan. And let me pass it on to Joshua.
Hi, I'm Josh Rollins. I just finished 3 years of software engineering in a systems biology lab doing computational biology. And now I'm incoming PhD student at the Graduate Center of CUNY doing computational biology under the CS umbrella. I'm doing protein and drug design through computational lens. My favorite dessert for Philippines is halo halo, just like Carla. And I'm interested in the Mentor-Mentee program because one, it was really fun, the gatherings and seeing everyone in the past. And I want to be able to utilize my PhD well, both in efficiency and in effectiveness, being able to make really good connections and be like, okay, I'm not going to wait until my 3rd year to figure out what my thesis project is and let myself do that. Yeah. Really excited to hear from other people about their experiences too. I'll pass it to Darren.
To Darren, yeah. Okay.
Hi, everyone. My name is Darren. I actually received my PhD back in microbiology back in 2020 from University of Wisconsin-Madison. Let's see here. So now I'm working in science philanthropy. So looking at pushing basic science research and understanding the funding landscape from that perspective. My favorite Filipino dessert is puto bongbong. It's not my favorite, but I'm really craving puto bongbong currently, and I don't know where to find it. So if there's any, if you know of any way I could do that, please let me know. I'm interested to join the AFSA Mentor-Mentee Program because I actually grew up in the Philippines, and then my family and I moved to Las Vegas when I was 15. And me navigating throughout, and as such, I was really the first generation in my family to go to college in the US. And then even at that point became going to the STEM field and then deciding to do a PhD. I think and I think throughout all those experiences, it would have been awesome to be part of a Filipino community to have guide that process. I was part of a similar program in my undergrad, which was very helpful. But I think past that level, there isn't really necessarily one that I know of. And so I would be happy to be a resource for anyone that has any interests and that I could help with. So I'm excited to be here. All right, and with that, I'll pass it to Asta.
Hi, everyone. I'm Asta. I'm a undergraduate at CUNY Hunter College studying biochemistry and public health. I'm also the publicity committee chair at AFSA, and my favorite Filipino dessert, I think I'd have to say, is also halo halo. Just like all around, like I love halo halo, and I'm really craving it now. So, and I'm interested to join the program because especially being an undergrad and like Darren, I'm also the first in my family to go to college here in the US. I was born in the Philippines, but moved here when I was like almost 2 years old. So it's certainly a lot to like, I don't know a lot of things about like, I didn't even know a lot about applying to college. And then now it's like, I have aspirations to go to med school one day or maybe grad school, and I have like no idea how to navigate any of that. And so I feel like I seek out mentors as often as possible because it's just like nice to have that guidance, and especially nice to have that sort of guidance from someone who like gets it from like a Filipino sort of perspective. And so yeah, that's why I'm here, and that's why I love AFSA. So, and especially this program. So yeah, that's me. I will pass it on to Tyler.
Hi everyone, my name is Tyler and I'm from Bacolod City, the Philippines. I'm currently a rising senior at NYU majoring in neuroscience. I guess my favorite Filipino dessert would be mango float. I don't know if you've tasted it. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm interested to join AFSA's Mentor-Mentee program because as an international student, I find it difficult to navigate med school and grad school. So, and in addition to that, I'm also excited to meet STEM Filipino students because as a rising senior, I only know a few in my college who are Filipino STEM students. So I guess that I really want to make I really want to make friends with Filipino STEM students, I guess. So I guess I'll call on Jester.
Hi, greetings to everyone. Apologies. My name is Jester De Torres, and I am currently an incoming sophomore of University of the Philippines studying BS Statistics. My favorite Filipino dessert would be suman, especially the long one where I just dip in the sugar. It's very delicious for me. And I'm interested to sorry again, it's my dad. I'm interested to join the AFSA Mentor-Mentee Program because, well, to put it simply, I wanted to have a mentor who will guide me in conducting research as a statistics student. It's a degree program where it can be applied to many research applications, and I'm still figuring it out where I can specialize in. And I was also inspired by my seniors in UP because recently they just had their graduation, and I was able to watch a live stream of their graduation ceremony, and it's also where the best undergraduate student papers are awarded, and I was happy to know that there were some of my friends in my senior level that were able to grab awards, and I was inspired to aim for it when the time comes, when it's my turn to pass on the papers. That's all for me. Thank you. And wanted to pass the mic to Natalie.
Oh, I'm Natalie. So I'm a rising, well, now second year med student at Cornell. My favorite Filipino dessert is sapin sapin, and I'm interested in joining because I took part in it. I think 2 cycles ago, and I had a mentor who was like mixed MD PhD, and she really helped me. Like I was in the middle of the application process, like going through like interviews and like just bouncing ideas, and I thought that was like really invaluable. And vice versa, like as a mentor, I want to provide that if possible to someone, especially because the process is weird. Plus, it's nice having someone to like have support you that's already in the fields that you want to be in.
Do you want to pass it on, Natalie?
I'll pass it to Sydney.
Hi, hello. I'm currently at the airport. I'm really sorry. But my name is Sydney. You can call me Sid. I am an undergraduate, incoming sophomore student at Liberal Arts College in St. Paul, Minnesota. And I'm studying biology and economics. My favorite Filipino dessert is turon. And I think what makes me interested in joining in AFSA is really, I just did an internship at the lab here in Arizona. And I think I want to be a scientist someday. I'd also like to, get to know some of the Filipino scientists and really the Filipino community scientists here in the US. So yeah, happy to see everyone and quite excited to hear what AFSA is about. Thank you.
Thank you, Sid. Well, I guess I'll just help Sid because they're at the airport. John, do you want to go and introduce yourself?
Hi guys, my name is John. I'm also the education co-chair for AFSA, and I am currently a second year med student, part of the MD PhD program over at the University of Minnesota. My favorite Filipino dessert is sans rival, and then I'm interested in joining because I guess like a lot of other people on this call, I didn't really have a lot of resources when applying to both med school and PhD. So hopefully I can give some useful advice to people who want to go down either route. And I think the last one is Lowell, if you're here.
What's good, everybody? My name is Lowell. I go by he, they pronouns. I'm the executive committee chair of AFSA, also affiliated with the Malaya movement in Florida. And I'm in the sixth plus year of my PhD at Florida International University in Miami. favorite Filipino dessert, I'm eyeing that sagot gulaman right now. It's always nice to have alternatives to boba. No hate to that. But why I'm interested in the AFSA's Mentor-Mentee Program, I generally agree with a lot of the sentiments. I'll also add that being, 6+ years in a PhD program, you see a lot of shit. Definitely one hell of an emotional and mental roller coaster. And, being able to pass on some wisdom for those that are looking into, graduate school. For context, I'm doing marine biology and ecology. I study seaweeds, so definitely going down into that either academia or nonprofit route would be something I like to learn from, and my time in grad school is something I want to pass on to folks as well if they're interested. Yeah.
All right. Thanks, everyone. I guess everyone has gone. Yeah. Thank you so much. Especially those who were at like very inconvenient places right now, like airport. Sid, thank you for joining us. And even Jester, I guess it's 4 a.m. in the Philippines. Yes. Okay. Thank you for staying up late to be able to join our info session. And thanks, everyone. I'm really glad that you all are able to share what you want to get from the program and what you want to offer, because that's basically kind of like the bulk of what we're going to talk about today in our info session. But before that, I guess we also want to introduce the organization that's hosting this, which is AFSA, or the Association of Filipino Scientists in America. We are a community of Filipinx scientists that really seek to utilize our expertise and resources to support our communities in the Philippines and in the US. And one of the programs that we really, have and developed is the Mentor-Mentee Program, which really fits into the vision and mission of our organization. So who we are more than 100, this is still from last year's data, but we have more than 172 people who signed up for AFSA, and we are at different stages of our careers in science, coming from actually more than 24 different states in the US. We also have fellows or members from the Philippines, and we are studying different fields of sciences. So it is actually a cool space to learn different types of sciences and also allow for collaboration between people or members in our community. So AFSA actually started in October of 2019, where we just, we're in a cafe in New York City and just talked about having probably a community for Filipino scientists, because we don't see enough representation, we don't see enough mentorship and guidance for us Filipinos navigating this STEM spaces. And we want to highlight and emphasize that we are actually part of the STEM community, and there are Filipinos in STEM. So, and we do need to utilize these expertise to support our communities in different ways that we can. So we were established in October of 2019. Just a few months, we also have gained a lot of momentum. We have been, well, these are pre-pandemic activities, but we were able to host like environmental science seminars in Columbia University. And we even had a feature in one of a Filipino-American magazine here in New York City that really, published what activities have we done and what is the goal of the organization. Since then, especially in 2020, where there's like a shift of a lot of online activities, and people have been connecting nationally or even internationally, we have hosted a lot of activities, especially about COVID. We have hosted Kumustahans and like support sessions for communities. This space has also been a place where we actually, share our research, get feedbacks even from the members. And we are able to highlight the different achievements of our members as well, and really, make the organization and the Filipinos in science be part of the map here in the US, but also all over the world. So we have done a lot of activities. Like one that we will be talking about here today would be, the Mentor-Mentee Program, but we have hosted a lot of workshops. We've also done a lot of fundraisers for COVID, and also like different natural disasters in the Philippines. Yeah, so these are just some of our activities, webinars, connecting people in the same field. We have discussion series of like different topics that concerns the Filipino STEM community. We also do social gatherings. We had a picnic before last year, and we do collaborate with other organizations to talk about different issues like, you know, like the storm that happened in the Philippines, or the situation of like human rights, the environmental defenders in the Philippines. And we also host career panels in collaboration with different professional organizations. So we do a lot for our communities, and we're really excited that you are interested to join one of the best programs that we have, which is the Mentor-Mentee. And aside from that, we also use our platform to really talk about the different issues and speak out, and really provide our perspective as members of the scientific community on you know, the different policies that's happening, or that are being passed in the different governments, not just here in the US, but also in the Philippines. Yeah, and so we talk about these issues as well. So yeah, that's just like a gist of what we are as an organization, and we have a lot of activities. We've been hosting monthly kumustahans or seminars as well. But we are really excited that we are hosting the Mentor-Mentee program this year and reviving it with, you know, more people participating as well. And that is actually because of the work of the different committees that are involved in the organization. So behind, or, you know, like behind those activities are actually people who have really instilled a lot of their work and commitment to the organization. So this is the structure of our organization. We have an executive committee, and we have different committees involved with that. So we have the membership committee, documentation, publicity, education, advocacy, and finance committee. And for this year, this is our executive committee. And some of them you are seeing in this room. But yeah, this is because of the different work of the past executive committees and general members, but also this year's executive committee has been working really hard to push through with the Mentor-Mentee program. Just a gist of what the different committees do. If you're interested to actually be part of the organization, you know, if you see the value of hosting this different activities for our community, you could be part of the different committees that we have. So you have the membership committees that orient and welcome new members. Actually host the membership committee actually hosts the Mentor-Mentee program. We spearhead in-person or online gathering for members, networking events, and celebrate members' achievements. There's also documentation committee if you're more of, you know, like writing. So we have monthly newsletters. Documentation committee also record meeting minutes, organize files, and make templates, and help highlight members' success in our newsletter and publicity. And publicity committee, headed by AFSA this year, creates events and graphics for promotions. If you see our really nice graphics for general meeting and like Mentor-Mentee, those are developed by the publicity committee, and they manage our Instagram, Twitter, LinkedIn accounts, Eventbrite, and captures or documents memories from our AFSA events. And finance committee is more on like the bookkeeping and fundraising for events and collecting membership dues once that's applicable soon. And then there's also the education committee that organizes lightning talks, seminar, career panels, workshops, produces educational materials, and also forms research groups on topics relevant to our mission. And lastly, we also have advocacy committee, which really leads campaigns, draft statements, and organize outreach activities and community service. So we have, you know, like also statements about anti-Asian hate or the COVID response in the Philippines and in the US. And those are things that advocacy committee do. So yeah, so that's just a gist of what the committees do. And if you're interested to join AFSA, we will share some links later on that you could look at, like QR codes where you could sign up for our membership. But I will show you just a gist of kind of a testimonial from one of our first members in AFSA who shared why they joined the organization.
Hi there, my name is Gabriel Santos. I'm a paleontologist and educator at the Raymond M. Elf Museum of Paleontology in Los Angeles, California, where I'm currently the collections manager and outreach coordinator. I'm also a Filipinx American first-generation scientist, and as one of the few Filipinx scientists in paleontology, I understand how underrepresented Filipinx people are in STEM. Going through my career, I've always wanted to have more Filipinx colleagues, be able to discuss things that are relevant to myself as a Filipinx person within our culture and the way that Filipinx people can exist within STEM. You know, I've wanted to find ways to speak about, issues that Filipinx people have. So that's why I joined AFSA. I wanted to connect with more Filipinx scientists out there and find a community and a network where we could have, that shared culture that we might not have within the rest of our fields. Also because I know how hard and difficult it can be sometimes to be the only representation in a room, and how isolating it can feel sometimes to not have someone you can connect with on a cultural level. So by having this network and joining other Filipinx scientists in AFSA, I thought it would be great to uplift other Filipinx scientists in the field and also mentor upcoming Filipinx scientists and hopefully spread that to not just here in the US, but to all parts of the world, to Filipinx scientists abroad and in the Philippines. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to meeting more of you and connecting and finding ways that we can be a science media within STEM. Yeah.
Thanks, Gabe. It felt like Gabe was in the room. But yeah, that was his testimonial of why. And I think like most of us have been actually sharing the same sentiments, yeah, if you're interested to join AFSA, I'm not gonna play that again. But if you're interested to join AFSA, here's some links that would be helpful for you. You could take a screenshot of this or even like just use your camera and take the QR codes. But this is how you can get involved with AFSA. But if you're going to be part of the Mentor-Mentee Program, there's a lot of intersection as well. Like our means of communication would mostly be Slack. So you will be in the space where AFSA in general as an organization has also been communicating. So yeah, if you want to connect, look at those accounts. More especially also like LinkedIn accounts that we have. That's like the more professional space that we use for connections with people. Cool. So now we're moving on to our Mentor-Mentee Program. And this is really where we discuss what will be happening from August to December of 2022 when we host this program that y'all are interested to participate in. So what is a Mentor-Mentee Program and what is its objective? So we have, as an organization, we have been hosting Mentor-Mentee Program since October of 2020. That's when we first started hosting this, and there's like a lot of iterations in it, and we keep improving it in different batches that we have. But really the objectives of this program is for us as Filipino STEM in the different fields, or STEM individuals in different STEM fields, to network with each other and with other participants in the program. So mainly in this program, we usually have a one-on-one prompts between the mentor and the mentee to facilitate connections between each other. And lastly, one of the main objectives is to really have, for people participating in the program, to have access to professional development workshops and career panels. So there's a lot of questions and hesitations of joining the program because, like there might be hesitations because of their capacity for this year. But let me, I guess, like tell you at the start of like the info session that what the mentor-mentee program really tries to take is to start building the connection between the mentor and the mentee. As you would learn later, a lot of our mentor or mentee pairings and even the cohorts didn't develop their relationship, like a very tight relationship immediately, but it's actually through the long process of connecting with each other even after the program ended. So that is kind of the main objective of the program, for you to just to get to know someone, be connected with someone in the community, and start building that relationship even beyond the program that we have. So what is the format of our program? So it is a virtual program that runs from August to December of this year. Basically, individuals are paired as a mentor and a mentee, and that would depend on what you answered in our questionnaire or like interest form, if you want to be both a mentor and a mentee, or just either a mentor, either a mentee. We try to really pair individuals which have the same interests. So sometimes we had to talk to someone and really dive into the database that we have with like AFSA members to reach out to them and see if they want to mentor someone who have shown interest to be part of this program. So in here, once we have the pairing, you will have a monthly one-on-one prompts between the mentor and the mentee, and this will guide your conversation. So basically in this program, you will meet with your mentor or mentee in a separate space. So there's two of you, and that could be in a Zoom, or it could also just be email. It depends on what both of you are comfortable with, and that's something that you need to set at the first meeting that we have. But usually we have prompts to help you navigate that and help you really find out what would work best for you as a pair. So aside from the monthly prompts, we also have monthly events or workshops that we are hosting that is different from what your mentor or your mentee have, like the relationship that you have or the resources that you have that you've been sharing, that would be different like thing. The monthly event or workshops that we will be hosting would kind of like be a an additional resource or material for mentor, but mostly actually mentee, to guide them with the different paths that they want to take. So for this program, our means of communication would mostly be emails. So usually we would tell you about the workshop updates and schedules, and the prompts would also be communicated through email. But this time, for this cycle, we are also planning to have a Slack channel just for the mentor-mentee program, which is a more informal way of communicating with each other. So you could connect with each other and get updates like real time through the Slack channel. And lastly, we're also doing a LinkedIn group for this mentor-mentee cohort, just to provide connection and resources, but also to really build that community in a professional level. And that's kind of like shown through your LinkedIn profile. You're able to connect with each other and even share resources from LinkedIn directly to the group. So that's kind of like the gist of it. We also have mentor or mentee contact that you could reach out to if you go through a difficult situation, or you have like different suggestions, feedbacks for how to improve the program. So you could contact us, like Lowell or Carla, Miles and Malia, who are the previous program coordinators and are also part of this year's mentor-mentee program. Will also be highly involved in coordinating with the mentors and the mentees. So that is kind of like the general idea of the program. Just to give you maybe like more specific details, the program will run from August to December. Well, I included January here, but that is really just for post-program surveys and assessments, just to see, you know, like how your experience was and how we could improve with the program. But for August, so that's August to December. August 8th is where we would release the pairings, and we will have the LinkedIn group and Slack channel be set up for you to, you know, go and introduce yourself. We will also develop the same day. We'll also give you the prompt on how you will communicate with your mentor and mentee, and that should be happening in between August 8th and the end of the month. So for every prompt you would want to do it or like communicate with your mentor or mentee before the month ends, because that's kind of like the theme for each month. So what we have in store for y'all is that in August, we're planning to have a workshop on how to introduce yourself. There's also a session on networking where all cohort will be there. Cohort of the program will be there and introduce themselves and just network, find resources, and also build community. So one thing you need to take note is that there would be pairings of mentor-mentee, but you are not limited in connecting with other people too. So that's the important thing about this mentor-mentee program. You will be connected with everyone. And as you see in the group as well, like there are MD students, for example, and there are people who are interested to apply for medical schools. Like you don't need to be only stuck with your mentor. You can get resources from other mentors as well, or mentees in the program. And that's the beauty of it. You will have access to everyone, you know, if with their consent as well, but mostly they are available to help you. But yeah, like with the introductions and everything and like resources that we have in the Slack and LinkedIn, we hope that it would be an easier space to actually share knowledge, resources, and insights. So we have that in August. In September, we're also hosting a career panel for Filipinx STEM professionals in industry, academia, and really different fields, just to give you an idea of, you know, what your career could look like, or if you're still like thinking, where should I go? Yeah, that could be a great resource for you. And then in October, we're thinking of doing a resume, CV, and grad school applications workshop, just to get you going, because we know that December is the deadline for grad school applications. And we didn't set it in September because that might be too early for you while you're already writing your SOPs or statement of purpose for grad schools or resume, CV. But October would be a perfect time because we could provide feedback with the resume, CV, or grad school applications that you have. But we will provide the grad school applications resources even before October. So we will have those workshops, and I have noted it here, but the prompts will also be related to the theme of the month. So I will show sample prompts later where you could see really how, you know, your mentor and mentee can navigate your relationship with each other and how you could help out each other. And November would be a workshop on how to prepare for grad school interviews or job interviews. We are really being careful of like not just focusing on like grad school applications, because we have very diverse people in here. So we want to highlight that this is just not grad school interview, but also like job interviews. And on December, this would be the last workshop that we have, but it's really how to advocate for yourself in workplace or institution. So there's a lot of people who have like problems in grad school in choosing their mentor and stuff like that. And when things don't work out, like how would they navigate advocating for themselves in those institutions, or even like, you know, in workplaces in academia, the unequal treatment or discrimination and stuff like that. That would be the last workshop that we have for December. And January would be a post-program surveys or assessment, that we could provide through Google Forms, and also we could host like a different event where we could all go together and like end the program formally. So yeah, that is our tentative itinerary. Well, actually I have. Yeah, so some of the sample prompts that we actually have, and these were from the previous mentor-mentee programs that we had, was, for example, we could have a, like, this is the introductory prompt where you will meet your mentor or mentee for the first time, and just like what we did, actually, like, introduce yourself, why are you interested with the program, but also like getting to know each other in a different level, like what are the things that you want to do in your spare time, and like also some really interesting things that you two could share together and could allow for both of you to get to know each other. And then sample prompt number 2 is something about CV and resume. So this is a different prompt because there's also like specific tasks for mentees and specific tasks for mentors. So I remember I had this with my mentor where I, based from this prompt, I actually provided my CV, and you know, like after a week or two, he gave me feedbacks with like comments on how my CV looks like and how it's not applicable if I want to go to the industry or academia. But he really just gave a very valuable insight, and I had to edit my CV right before I apply for a fellowship. So that was really helpful for me. Now, those are things that would be really helpful for you, and it's part of our mentor-mentee program. So what are the minimum commitments? For this program, you really first would need to join our group and the Slack channel just to, you know, provide that space and really like put you in a group where you could be involved at least like virtually and online with people. In that channels, you can network with your cohort, provide resources, or ask questions. And next, you need to connect with your mentor or mentee and communicate through email or Zoom at least once per month. And that would be the prompt. You would need to do the prompt together. But the prompt will really just guide your conversation, but you don't need to strictly follow it. So you can tailor your prompts or conversations depend on what you need as a mentee, but also what you can offer as a mentor. And just notes for mentors as well is that if there's needs of mentees that you cannot provide, you can always ask for the resource in the group, or even like contact me, Lowell, or Miles and Malia, to see if like there are resources that we could provide as a group to the individual. And that's the nice thing about the LinkedIn group and also the Slack channel as well, because you can outright just ask in there too if there are some resources or experiences that people want to share about this particular fellowship, for example, and stuff like that, that your mentor or it's like not knowledgeable about. And then the next commitment would be to attend at least one workshop in the whole duration of the program. So some workshops might not be applicable to mentors anymore, but workshops will be tailored so that mentors can provide valuable insight to their mentees. So we will actually have breakout rooms, and mentors could give their insights and like experiences based from the topic that we're discussing in the workshops. And lastly, if you have come into different problems, or if you have concerns, suggestions, or feedback, just a commitment is to let us know. And that's very simple, really. So those are the commitments. I guess if you're really interested and you have signed up for the program, these are some important dates. So August 8th, Monday, is where we notify you of your pairings. We will also provide guiding documents on the mentor and the mentee, and exactly just like what we have shared to you, but more details on like and resources as well that we could link to you on how to be a good mentor and how to guide the person that you're mentoring, for example. And we'll have the LinkedIn group and Slack chat channel invite the same day, and also a prompt to get you going with your introductions. But also August 30 is really more of introduction with the whole cohort. So as of now, we actually have more than we have around 40 people sign up for the program. So we will all have access to that. And so we would, you know, like get to know them, and we'll have networking session and really show the importance of like community building. So yeah, it will be a great resource for you all, for people, you know, because this cohort has different expertise in different fields as well. So I guess like we'll move on to some testimonials from people who have actually been part of the Mentor-Mentee program. I don't know, well, this is for Lowell. Is Lowell in the space? Oh yeah, okay. If Lowell, if you could just share your testimonial live, that would be great, I guess.
Is it more like reading through or just kind of elaborating what was already had?
Yeah, I guess just elaborating, just share.
Yeah, totally. So last time I was in the Mentor-Mentee program was in like fall of 2020. So it's been a while. And the mentor that I had at that time was Dr. Leah Mufasegui. She was someone who just, at that time, she was a postdoc working at NOAA. So she was working under the government. Her background was in marine and freshwater biology. And then it was interesting because when we first paired, it turns out that we kind of knew each other. We kind of knew each other before because we worked in the same realm of algae management and marine policy and stuff like that. So when we kind of saw each other, I was like, hey, wait a minute, we know each other. And then when we finally get our prompts, we basically just kind of kicked it off. We are very critical of some of the practices in academia and the world that we live in. That kept really helped us kind of connect a lot more than what was expected. It was so much that these pictures that you're seeing here, this program ended on like, what was it, like December of 2020, and then the year after, when I visited SoCal, we decided to do a hike together with another mentor that she signed up with. If you go to the picture on the left, you see that guy in the back? That's JP Belmonte. He's someone who studies microbes in the polar regions, right? And so eventually, it turns out we ended up, all three of us, kind of knowing each other, right? So being able to be part of this program definitely helped us build basically like long-lasting connections with each other. And you'll be happy to know, I think, just hearing this from Leah, I think she signed up for this cycle again. So if you're interested in having her as a mentor, this might be a good opportunity to kind of connect with people like her.
Thank you, Lowell. Next would be Asta, who will be sharing how her experience was.
Yeah, so I was able to participate in this program twice in 2 cycles in the past. I was like really grateful to AFSA for like really matching me with, I feel like, who were perfect mentors for me, because I'm a pre-med and I'm a chemistry major technically. So they paired me with a medical student in my first cycle and then a biochemistry student in my second cycle. So I feel like having those 2 mentors like able to help me in both of those like sort of aspects of my academic career was really helpful. And even though the programs are over and they have been for a while, because it's been a while since I participated in this program, but I still know that they're there at any time when I have questions, and I can lean on them when I need guidance, even though like we don't have necessarily like the program to like sort of prompt us to keep talking all the time. But whenever I have questions, I can just shoot them a text or an email, and I know they'll answer me and continue to help me. So I feel like that's like bonus to this whole thing.
Yay. Thanks for sharing, Asta. Yeah, so I guess we have 5 minutes to 5, but if people have questions, we will definitely give time to answer them. Any questions about the program format? You're not sure yet? etc. Is there, you know, like also if there's someone you think in the space who you would want to be mentored with now that you know them, you could also let us know in the email and we'll see how the pairings fit. Yeah. Anyone who has, you know, something to share, excitement, maybe. Wow, excitement.
I have a question.
Yes, Grace.
First, thanks for doing this. This is awesome. It's just even just being in this space right now, it's cool to see everyone here and everyone's interest and whatnot. But is there, I know there's an interest form. Is there any other thing that prospective mentees need to fill out?
Not really. That would be the official form that we have. We usually just pair the what do you call this? We just confirm your participation based from the interest form, and we'll email you separately to ask that, and then we will try to pair you with your best fit, like mentor or mentee, based from the information that you shared in the interest form.
Thank you.
Thank you, Grace. Any other questions? Is there something in the chat? Cool. Yeah, so, oh, I clicked the interest form. But do you all see the interest form? Okay, cool. Yeah, this will be the only form that we have. But we will send you another email contacting you about the participation, especially after the information session too. Anyone else have questions? 1, 2, 3. Okay, anyone who wants to be mentored by me? Wow, mentored by me. Okay, Jester, you have a question?
Just wanted to ask if it's required to have a LinkedIn account before the program or not necessarily.
That's actually gonna be a requirement. It's a good practice to have the LinkedIn account. So we really set this up so that you would make a LinkedIn, because that has really helped people professionally too. So it's a good practice that we're doing it. Oh, Tyler, you have a question?
Yeah, is it fine if we communicate in Tagalog with our mentors or mentee? Because I'm usually more comfortable using Tagalog to speak with another Filipino.
Yes, yeah, definitely. Even like Bisaya, if you speak Bisaya or any other language.
Sige.
Yeah, yeah, I speak Bisaya.
Sige.
So you could talk
I
to me in
see.
Bisaya
Good.
too. Yeah. Cool. Yeah, especially because, like, you know, you would feel closer to someone if you actually talk in your native language as well. And you'll get to know them. Yeah, and one thing to note is that we also have people from the Philippines joining us as mentor or mentee, and we recognize, like, especially from the past cycles, that there's like a difference in the educational system of both. So what we're trying to do really is to, for people in the Philippines, we try to pair them with people who had experience studying in the Philippines, so they would know what the system is like, and we could compare to with the US and Philippine system. Cool. If you don't have questions, I guess just a few announcements from AFSA. In August, we will have our general meeting, and that's to be determined when, but on the 16th on Tuesday, we will be hosting a national situation educational discussion, like just to know what has been happening in the Philippines, specifically in economic situation and also human rights situation. And this is in collaboration with the Malaya movement, who also have like different chapters all over the US. September, we have, like, we usually have the monthly general meeting, but September is also our nominations for the executive committee of AFSA. So if you're interested to be part of the organization and even like to be the leading committee for the organization, then stay in the lookout for that as we hold our nominations in September. And October would be the elections for the executive committee, but also our anniversary celebration, and that would be our 3rd year. So yeah, something's in store for that month for sure. And yeah, and I'm putting this back again. If you're interested in getting involved with AFSA, here are some links that might be important for you. You can take a screenshot. Well, you also have the emails, and we'll provide all these details to you all. And all of those resources are actually in our link tree. If you want to sign up on a membership form, LinkedIn, join our Slack, they're all there. And yeah, that would be it. Thank you everyone for joining. Are there other questions left? If not, we'll be staying in the space for like a few minutes, but feel free to log off and we'll be, oh wait, sorry. I'll take a photo of us. I forgot to do that. This is very important. Okay, if you are comfortable turning on your camera, feel free to do so. Oh, cool. Sid, your flight is not yet. You're not yet boarding? Okay, cool. All right, I'm gonna take a photo now. 1, 2, 3. Thank you, everyone. Have a good night. Have a safe flight, Sid.
Thank you very much.
Jester. Tulog ka na, Jester. Thanks, everyone. Excited to get to know y'all. All right. Okay, I'm gonna stop recording. Stop share. Yo, did I really record it? Okay, I did record.